Today's video is brought to you by the DJHookup.com. Order your DJ hardware at thedjhookup.com today. What's up, passionate DJs? Now, I spend a lot of time reviewing individual pieces of DJ hardware, but sometimes it's important to take a step back and examine the bigger picture. So that's what we're doing today, in one of my favorite videos to produce, my ultimate guide to DJ controllers. So let's get started. Okay, here's how it works. Now, these controllers are split into three different price categories: budget, mid-range, and premium. In each category, I have one main recommendation, which is the one I'll spend the most time on, and then I'll recommend some alternative options. The primary focus is on Rekordbox and Serato because those are the most popular with our audience. Now, most things here will also be supported by Virtual DJ. This isn't a diss against any other software like Traktor, but in the instance of Traktor, they have a whole lineup of hardware and it's obvious to just choose whichever one of those is in your budget. Also, I tried not to include anything that was discontinued or just outright unavailable. Now, if you're too impatient to watch a 20-minute video and you just want me to give you a straight-up default recommendation, I'm going to suggest the Pioneer DDJ Rev 5. It's a solid, all-around DJ controller which costs just over $1,000. Hey, you didn't specify a budget, and it does pretty much everything you need. Now, we'll learn more about the Rev 5 when we get to the premium controllers section of the video. If you know that the Rev 5 is out of your budget, just continue watching because it's time to talk about the entry-level controllers, which cost less than $500. Now, we're going to start with two controllers that are very similar, the first of which is the Pioneer DDJ Flex 4. Now, the reason being, it's a simple and straightforward controller with a standardized layout. It's a well-built and handsome DJ controller with really slick jog wheels and an ergonomic design inspired by classic club mixers. Another reason is that it supports multiple applications. It's primarily made for Pioneer's Rekordbox for Mac and Windows, but it also comes with Serato DJ Lite, and you can do a paid upgrade to the full version. Now, on top of that, you can use it with the new Rekordbox app for iOS and Android, making for an extremely convenient and portable sort of pseudo all-in-one DJ system for a great price. Now, as with any Serato or Rekordbox supported device, the Flex 4 brings with it support for several streaming services: Tidal, Beatport, BeatSource, and SoundCloud. It connects over USB-C, and this allows you to easily power the controller straight from your laptop. Or you can power it from a USB charger if need be, such as when using it with a phone or a tablet. Now, it also includes a few exclusive features which can help you out if you're new to DJing. Now, note that these features only work with Rekordbox. Now, the first is called Smart Fader, and it helps you make transitions between different songs by automating things like tempo and EQ as you slide the crossfader. The other feature is called Smart CFX, and it's just a series of chained effects that you can have some fun with by twisting a single knob. Now, whether you love or hate these so-called cheater features, I like to think of them as tools. For example, Smart Fader is an interesting way to transition between wildly different BPMs. Now, next up we have the DDJ Rev 1. Now, this controller is fairly similar to the Flex 4, but once you take a closer look, you'll notice some differences. Now, these two controllers are meant for slightly different kinds of DJing. To help explain, I'll play a quick clip from my original review. Basically, the idea is that the Rev 1 has a different sort of approach to things like effects, where your effects are engaged by the paddles up here, like a DJM-S series mixer, something like that. Whereas this has a more traditional, like Pioneer mixer style assignable effects with a button and the dial down there. You also have bigger jog wheels here, better for scratching. Basically, the whole thing is meant to be more of a battle style orientation, kind of mimicking the turntables in the scratch orientation, where you have the pitch faders up here instead of on the side. Even though these are slightly different philosophies, they're
basically they're going to accomplish the same thing, right? So like you're not going to get one and go, man, I really should have got the other one. They're basically going to be doing the same kind of thing.
Now the Rev 1 is a great controller in its own right, but rather than a traditional club mixer layout, you get effects paddles and pads up here in the middle, much like a DJM-S mixer would have. You get this battle-style orientation with the pitch faders up top, and to clarify, this is a Serato-only controller. Now this one is not USB-C powered, unfortunately. However, it is powered by the regular old-school USB, so you can still power it with your laptop. The jog wheels are much larger on the Rev 1, which makes for easier turntable-style manipulation. So where the Flex 4 is flexible, the Rev 1 is more focused. If scratching is ultimately what you want to be doing, this is the better choice. If you don't really know how to scratch yet, the Rev 1 has a few cheater features of its own. It can automate crossfader cuts and return to a cue point automatically when you release the platter. Now these features can help you make cool scratching sounds while you're actually learning how to do the real thing.
Throw your hands, throw your hands, throw your hands, throw your hands in the sky.
And I've covered both of these Pioneer units extensively, and I've included links below to the full reviews of each of them, as well as a video comparing the two all the way down to the nitty-gritty details. But next up, I'd like to talk about an intriguing option that you might not have considered, and this one's powered by Reloop. Compatibility with Algorithm's DJ software means this controller works with PC, Mac, and mobile. You can use an iPad for a nice big display like I prefer here, or you could even use an iPhone. Now this, combined with the form factor, makes the Ready one of the handiest controllers available today.
Not only is the size and the shape of this thing right for ultimate portability, but they've really put some thought into designing it to work for this purpose. For example, if you look at the front and the back, there's really nothing there. They're just blank. All the action is happening here on the sides, and that's so you could do something like that, and you could have your master output coming out the side. There's some other great design choices here on the top of the controller that really kind of help it work at this size. Nothing here feels like tiny. Everything feels kind of full size, except for maybe the jog wheels are a little small. There are sacrifices here. You'll notice that you have a 2-band EQ instead of a 3-band. What I've noticed is just you want to be a little bit gentler on your adjustments, so like when you're switching the bass out of a track. So once you get used to just kind of being a little more gentle with those transitions, 2-band EQ is no big deal. You know, like everything here feels full size, which I really like. And the way they get away with this is, so rather than having all your Serato functions for your pads, you know, as their own independent buttons across the top here, what they do is they give you a mode button. Under each pad, you'll see different pad modes, and so you hold the mode button down and then you push one of those buttons, and then that's how you select what mode you're in. I mean, it's just really intuitive, and that's something that I really like about Reloop and their design team, is they make it easy on you. So if we swoop it around here on the side, connect a USB cable like that to your laptop, plug it in, and then it powers up, and you're pretty much done. Or you could use this like I am here, plug it into a USB power brick, and then it'll power the unit on, and then you can connect your iOS device over here, and now we have a fully mobile setup. Now, is this the same build quality as the Pioneers? I'm not sure about that. I mean, it feels fine and solid. I would say where you might notice it is in the jog wheels. Like if I spin these jog wheels around, like they make a little bit of noise, whereas you don't have any of that on the Pioneers. Outside of that, you know, they feel fine. But really, again, the selling point with the Reloop here is just this great design and form factor.
An extremely popular budget offering from Newmark, the Mixtrack Platinum Effects sports a well-built, compact design and is a solid all-around beginner DJ controller for anyone wanting to use Serato. In this addition to the long-standing mix track series, Numark has added 6 fun quick launch effects with dual paddle triggers. So it's got these big capacitive touch 6-inch jog wheels which house lovely little digital displays, and it gives you basic BPM and track position feedback. Now this is the only controller in this price bracket to offer this feature. And it's great for learning how to beat match, especially with these long throw pitch faders. And that's why I feel like it's one of the best values in the DJ controller market. It comes with Serato DJ Lite with an upgrade option to the full version, as is custom with these entry-level controllers. And with this deck button, it lets you access 4 decks. Until the Rev 1 came out, this was the only budget controller that offered paddle effects. So if you're not necessarily a scratch DJ, but you like this style of effects, the Numark is a great option. Now I hope that you're enjoying the controller guide so far, and if you've decided on what you're ready to buy, now is the chance to go look it up at thedjhookup.com. The DJ Hookup is our preferred hardware provider and the sponsor of this video, and not only that, they're the reason that I've had the opportunity to put my hands on most of these controllers. Their friendly reps will always guide you in the right direction if you're still not sure even after I painstakingly put together this long and well-researched video for you. Plus, they offer free shipping and financing options, and they are the highest rated DJ retailer online. The DJ Hookup sells DJ equipment to their friends, and I'm happy to have the DJ Hookup as my friends, as well as the sponsor of this video. Now we're going to step up to the next price tier and talk about mid-range controllers. These devices come in at under $1,000 and give you more features and functionality than the budget stuff. And my top pick allows you to mix in 4 channels on just about any DJ software you want. It's made for Rekordbox and Serato, but is also supported by Virtual DJ and even Traktor. And by the way, my software recommendations for this thing go in exactly that order. The FLX6, or Flex 6 if you prefer, is a 4-channel DJ controller which is USB powered and driverless, and supports Rekordbox, Serato, Virtual DJ, and Traktor. It's a very nice, sharp-looking controller. It's pretty handsome. These jog wheels are massive. They are the same size as the ones on the CDJ 3000s. Now, I don't think they're the same jog wheels, at least internally, and you could tell that they feel different. By the way, they have these displays here in the middle that show your track position and stuff, which is very nice. But when you flip it around to the back, you can start to notice where a lot of the cost savings go, and how they're able to crank out this sort of seemingly fully featured 4-channel multi-software supporting DJ controller. Now you can kind of see maybe where some of the cost cutting comes in. There are no external inputs, so you can't use CDJs or turntables or timecode records or anything like that. This is an all-in-the-box type of device, so I just want to make sure that's clear. The device is powered by USB, which is very convenient, but that means it doesn't plug into mains power. For most people, that will be fine. You're going to be, hooking up to a live stream. You're going to be hooking up to your local club or bar or something like that. Daisy chaining into another, DJ mixer that's close by, something like that. We see these scenarios all the time in local shows and stuff like that. So I don't want to discourage you if it doesn't really apply to you. Now, the Flex 6 is sort of built around this idea of merge effects, which are like a series of effects chained together that help you get from one genre or tempo to another. And when you hit the button, the effects start, you turn the knob to modify the effects, and then you push the button again to end it with a little flourish. A little something like this. There's also a feature called Scratch Cutter, which I hate, but it allows you to sort of simulate scratchy sounds like this.
Let's go! Let's go!
So the Flex 6 is a great all-in-one inside-the-box package, which is everything that you need to mix in 4 channels, wherever you decide to do so. As implied by the title Mid-Range Controllers, there are of course some compromises here, but the feature set for the price is undeniable. However, there are two Pioneer DJ alternatives that you might want to consider, particularly if you need external input so that you can hook up turntables or other players to the controller. So Rekordbox users should consider the DDJ 800. This is actually a fairly professional piece of kit, which has a club-style layout that was inherited from the DDJ 1000 that's now discontinued. But basically, it mimics a miniaturized CDJ setup, and at $839, I think it makes a great stand-in for anyone who wants to familiarize themselves with that workflow. If you prefer Serato, there's the ever-popular DDJ SR2. It has a nice, spacious layout while still managing to be pretty small. Dedicated controls on the top of the device allow you to get creative with your song's key and BPM, even in extreme tempos. Now this one comes in at $739. So if you're not married to any particular software yet, I would recommend going with the 800 over the SR2. It's only a $100 difference, but it's a noticeable upgrade in features. For example, the full-color LCD screens alone, I think, are worth the price. Now, by getting one of these controllers instead of the Flex 6, you are gaining some build quality and the ability to handle external sources like turntables, but you're losing the ability to control 4 channels. The DJ 505 is a 2-channel 4-deck controller that blends the capabilities of Serato with the legendary sounds of Roland's TR-909, 808, 707, and 606 drum machines. So this is great for those DJ producers who want to do some live remixing, but at a more reachable price point than its DJ 808 sibling. And by the way, this also supports Serato DVS with external turntables, so yeah, great value. Alright, now it's time to talk about premium controllers, which I define as DJ controllers that cost over $1,000. These are the cream of the crop. It's where you'll find the latest and greatest flagship features, such as stems. Now, when referring to stems, I just mean the ability of DJ software to break a song into individual pieces in real time. So, for example, you push a button and the vocals or the drums magically disappear. Again, if you want to know more about the subtle differences between how these things are handled between all these different pieces of hardware, you're going to have to check out my full reviews, so I've linked all those below. But we're starting with what I called my default pick at the beginning of the video, and that's the DDJ Rev 5.
Yeah, who am I? I'm the greatest. Who am I? I'm getting paid. Who am I? I'm so flagrant. Yeah. Who am I? I'm the greatest. Yeah, who am I? I'm getting paid. Who am I? I'm so flagrant. Yeah.
Now, this controller from Pioneer DJ barely squeaks into this category at $1099, so although it qualifies as a premium controller, I think it actually proves to be a really good value for the price.
So what I like about the Rev 5 here is that the center mixer section is basically like a miniaturized Pioneer DJ hardware mixer. So it looks a lot like maybe a DJM S7 or something like that here in the middle, and it has a lot of similar features, the same kind of layout. The paddle switches here, they feel basically exactly the same as a Pioneer mixer. They're just a little bit smaller, and that helps, you know, fit into this little form factor here while still having a very familiar layout. Everything else is exactly where you would expect it to be. You've got your Magvel fader down here. It's not a Magvel Fader Pro. It's very good for scratching, as demonstrated by Fatty Lumpkin. The other thing is you get the full-size jog wheels here. So this Rev 5 is really a great all-arounder, right? Because if you're looking for that all-in-one controller experience, but you want the full-size jog wheels, you want all the same basic kind of features that a Pioneer mixer has, and you want access to stems now, which is obviously the hot new thing, then this is a great way to get into that at an appropriate price point for something that offers as much as this. The one caveat, obviously, is that this is a 2-channel controller, so if you're that style of like club DJ or like techno DJ or something like that where you want 3 or 4 tracks at a time, then this might not be the device for you. But just about for anyone else, this is going to be just great, whether you're into scratching or not. It obviously has the battle style layout here, meaning that the pitch faders are up at the top. That's a hallmark of the Rev line. So it is scratch friendly. It's really a good all-arounder. So one thing that I really like about the Rev 5 is that they've made stems access really simple on here. So I'm going to go ahead and play this track. Turn it down just a little bit. And you'll see up here, you'll have your vocal, melody, bass, and drums. And by default, I can just add or drop these individual stems.
We only rock the Mavericks. If you a clone, then step off the campus. Lest you get beat up, bullied.
Now you'll notice here that under the stems button is this little dot with stem solo next to it. So that means if you double tap this, it brings this light on, and now these will solo whatever button you push, like this.
Cops. Oh yeah, unapologetic for muffin and a don't fear.
And then finally we also have stem separate. So now the track is playing in both decks, but I'm controlling just the vocals here.
Take the front without the rear, out of level, out of fear. I ain't got no competition unless I'm looking in the mirror.
If we come around to the back here, you can see that we have all the professional audio hookups that you need. You've got your XLR outputs for your master. You also have RCA outputs that will output your master, and then you have a balanced 1/4-inch booth output. You also have USB-C on this device, so it is another controller that has finally gone to USB-C. You can connect 2 laptops. Your auxiliary input is right over here, and then your mic inputs here. You've got one 1/4-inch input, and you've got one XLR 1/4-inch combo type input. And then your power button and your USB-C input for power. If you're truly willing to pay for the top-tier controllers, there are 2 more worth considering in this category: the Pioneer DDJ FLX10 and the Rain 4. Both of these controllers bring stems to the forefront of their design, and they're intended to take advantage of this feature, but each of them handles this in pretty different ways. As far as build quality, I would give the edge to the Rain 4. Both controllers offer quick, one-button access to stems. While you have acapella and instrumental buttons on the Rain 4, you get quick access to 3 different parts on the Flex 10: drums, vocals, and instruments. Now that being said, the Rain 4 lets you break it down even further using the pads. Now the Flex 10 lets you easily apply effects to only certain stems using these buttons here. But the Rain 4 gives you effects which help you transition out of stems. You know, like that vocal echo effect. Now the point is, both controllers make different things easily accessible when it comes to stems. Now the Flex 10 is a little fussier in design when you look at the 2 of them at the same time, but it also offers additional features not found on the Rain 4, such as tension adjustment for the jog wheels. And the Flex 10 also has a DMX lighting output built directly onto the board, which means it's ready to control a light show using Rekordbox lighting right out of the box. Now that's not something you'll ever be able to do on the Rain 4, but that's also something that only a few of you will realistically use. All in all, both are solid choices. If you're unsure, I'd default to the Rain 4 if your preference is Serato, or to the Flex 10 if your preference is Rekordbox. And now we must discuss the subcategory of motorized controllers, or controllers which have mechanical platters that spin under their own power, like little turntables. And for this, my recommendation is the Serato-powered Rain 1. Now, using its 6 radio-style effects buttons, you can instantly activate any combination of software effects, and fine-tune them with depth and beat parameter controls, and activate them with the aluminum die-cast paddle controls, which give a satisfying ka-chunk when you use them.
It also features Rain's lightest and smoothest crossfader ever, the Mag 4, to help stand up to the rigors of cutting and scratching. Now, on top of all this, the One is truly built like a tank. It really inspires a lot of confidence. Now, alternatively for Rekordbox, we have the DDJ Rev 7. Now, I thought it felt a little bit less sturdy for scratching than the Rain 1, but it has some truly innovative and fun features. The screens right in the middle of the platters, for instance, are truly innovative and make for a unique experience that you really can't find anywhere else. Now, these motorized controllers aren't really the focus of this guide, so if you want to learn more about them, I highly suggest watching my thorough review videos of each of them. And before we wrap up, we should talk about standalone DJ hardware. Now, many of the higher-end quote-unquote DJ controllers are actually standalone DJ hardware now, meaning that it doesn't require the use of a laptop like everything else on this list. And in this category, my main recommendation is the Prime 4 Plus, which is clearly the leader in this space. Good pioneer alternatives are the Opus Quad or the XDJ RX3. Now, in the past, I've done a standalones guide just like this one, where I go super in-depth into literally every option, but that video is in dire need of an update, so if that's something you'd be interested in, please say so down in the comments below. I'd love to know. And so that's going to wrap it for today. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next time, and as always, keep on spinning.